welcome to No Holds Barred. I am Sheila Bhatt. My guest today is Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Do you think Rashtriya Swayasemak Sangh, Vishwa Hindu Parishad and Dr. Swamy, they are on a one side now, and a BJP and Narendra Modi on other side on the issue of bringing an ordinance on the building of Ram Temple?
Well, we are on one side, that is the RSS, Vishwa Hindu Parishad, myself, in that order. We are on one side on only one issue.
Yes.
That before the elections, Ram Mandir construction must start. And what methodology to be used, we can have small differences. The government and the Prime Minister has now articulated he doesn't want to do anything before the Supreme Court has pronounced its judgment. But I'd like to the Prime Minister to know, I have told him through writing, and I'm telling you that this hearing that you are seeing in the Supreme Court would not have taken place if I had not entered the picture. I entered the picture because Ashok Singhal was somehow feeling that his time is up, he's going. So he called a press conference, made me sit in with him, and he announced that henceforth, just like Ram Setu Swamy did it, I feel that Rama will do it through Swamy. And so I am leaving this to him. In front of all the office bearers, everyone, pressmen and so on, in North Avenue, a press conference. So that's how I got into this Ram Mandir thing, except that during Chandrasekhar's time and Narasimha Rao's time, I was involved in the negotiations. And Narasimha Rao actually has written me a long letter of thank you also, which I'll take explicitly, yes, which I'll tell you the background of.
For participating in negotiations?
No, helping him to formulate the stand he should take before the Supreme Court. And that's the crucial part. Now, what I am saying is that the government reliance on the Supreme Court has to be now moderated by the fact that this was brought to the Supreme Court until 2017 March. There was not a single hearing. And none of the parties today who are being considered in the present litigation, those are parties to the suit, they're claiming a title to the land. They were made any efforts, or the government made any efforts, to have this matter listed for hearing. I entered, and immediately there was an opposition that who are you? You have no stakes in this.
No, you entered under the Article 25.
That's right, 25.
Right to worship.
That's right.
So you are not a party to the main suit.
That's right. I'm not party to claiming the territory or the land. Okay. But it is only because the other side objected to my entering the picture. So I brought in through a new route. The court then decided that they will hear the whole matter, and then all these people jumped in and said they want to be heard. And then there was the Congress understood that I would get this matter adjudicated on my petition because there's no answer to I have a fundamental right to pray where faith tells me Ram was born. These people who are asking for property are asking for title. That is an ordinary right. It's not a fundamental right. So when there's a clash for the same thing between fundamental right and ordinary right, I prevail. Then I also had successfully proved to the court, and there was already a constitutional bench judgment of 1994 Farooqi versus the Union of India, where the Supreme Court held that masjid is not an essential part of Islam. It is only a place to read namaz. It can be shifted. It can be broken. It is done so in British India. It is being done so in Arab countries. So therefore, masjid is not on the same status as a temple. Temple, because of prana pratishtha, puja, God enters the murti and becomes the owner of the temple. Every Hindu can only be a trustee of a temple, but he cannot be an owner of a temple. You may build it, you may call it Birla Mandir, but it is not owned by Birla. It is Lakshmi Narayana who owns it, and Birla is just a trustee. So therefore, there was fear, and that's why Kapil Sibal and others raised the question that the Farooqi judgment, where they said that masjid is not an essential part of Islam, should be reviewed. And we lost 5 months in that. And my object of getting it settled before the end of last year failed because of that. Now, what is being considered today, and was considered today and now been put off, is only the property issue. Whose title does it? Is it Sunni Waqf Board, or is it Nirmohi Akhada and Jamram Janmabhoomi Vinyas? My matter is still not been listed. So I came to the conclusion that the Supreme Court seems to be of the view that there's no hurry to decide this, and they've said it too. It's not our priority. So I came up with a new solution, which I knew all along existed, but I didn't. I was worried that maybe our party may misunderstand if I bring it, because Narasimha Rao's name is associated with it.
So what is that particular thing?
I was in a cabinet rank position in Narasimha Rao's government. He had in fact wanted me to join the party and become his minister proper, but I said I will never join Congress, and I have never joined Congress in my life. Worked with them when Rajiv and Narasimha Rao were there. Now, in the Supreme Court Constitutional Bench in 1994, before they concluded, they told the Additional Solicitor General, please tell us what is your government's solution to this problem. We have got all the suits and all consolidated. We have moved it from the Sessions Court to the Allahabad High Court so that it moves faster. You tell us now, what is the solution? So the Solicitor General took time, and Narasimha Rao was told this. Narasimha Rao called me to a meeting in his 5 West Coast Road, and he told me, how do you approach? So I told him, during Chandrasekhar's time, Babri Masjid Action Committee was headed by Shahabuddin, who was a good friend of mine. He was a good friend of Chandrasekhar. He was a member of the Janata Party, and I was also a president of Janata Party. And Chandrasekhar, I said, you two sit down and tell us how we can find a solution. At that time, Shahabuddin said that if you can show that there was a temple, I will go and break the Babri Masjid myself. So we recorded this in the white paper. But then Chandrasekhar's government fell. Now, when Narasimha Rao became, he had other problems, minority, majority government, all that. So he didn't get to the issue right away. And somehow this thing blew up, and then the Babri Masjid was blown up. Now then, of course, the Supreme Court got into that.
No, but in 1994 you are claiming that Narasimha Rao wrote...
I'm coming to that now.
Okay, sure.
I'm saying that 1992 this thing was broken. Then the Supreme Court asked them in 1994. So Narasimha Rao was interested. He used to be consulting with me. The National Integration Council met. I was a member of that also, and so on. Now, the question asked, Narasimha Rao answered this way. Not as an affidavit, as a statement issued by the Prime Minister after a cabinet meeting.
Okay.
All right. So cabinet meeting means it is binding on all future cabinets, whatever cabinet resolution. He said, government is determined to enforce a solution if by negotiations the matter cannot be settled. And we know that by negotiations
it cannot be settled.
So what is that enforcing solution? So he gave 3 alternatives. And the alternative which applies now is that he said, if it is proved ever that there was a pre-existing temple, the government will hand over this land to the Hindus. This is what is a black and white. 14th September 1994, he issued a statement which the Attorney General, Solicitor General put into form an affidavit on his name and presented to the court. The court then used it has put it into the judgment. Okay. Has not contradicted it. Nor have they said you have to come and consult us. How can they? It's a cabinet decision. So, thereafter this Supreme Court ordered the Allahabad High Court to conduct an inquiry whether there was a temple there before. They gave it to the Archaeological Survey of India. And two famous archaeologists were appointed, B.B. Lal and K.K. Mohammed. They gave a unanimous report based on satellite imaging, lasers, and then digging the place up, that there exists a Vaishnav temple's base even today under where Babri Masjid once stood.
So, Mr. Swamy, that is disputed just
by whom?
Recently also by history people, historians.
Who cares about history people? This is the Archaeological Survey of India has been
Historians
asked, and the Allahabad High Court has accepted it. And who's disputing it? Is it under dispute in the Supreme Court? No.
Okay, then.
All right. So I am saying that today the Prime Minister tonight can give that land which has been nationalized during Narasimha Rao's time. The Jam Janmabhoomi, where the masjid stood, is called the disputed area. That's about 2.77 acres. Right. And then there's a huge Ram Janmabhoomi area, which is 67.7 acres. It's a large area. That both are now in the possession of the government. Yes? So government should tonight, as I'm giving an example, hand it over to a Hindu organization, say Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha, or anything of the liking of
Dr. Swamy, it will be immediately, in no time, will be challenged in the court.
How can it be challenged?
Because that time, this particular piece of land, which is under controversy, through a presidential order, yes, was transferred, and now that entire land, yes, is managed, I would say supervised by the Supreme Court.
No.
Yes.
Not at all.
Whenever you want to make any changes, you have to go to the court.
Only
right?
the restriction for prayer. Only the restriction for prayer, and that was before it was found out that there was a temple before the masjid.
Dr. Swamy, before, because you have been teaching, and not Arun Jaitley, but 3 cabinet ministers told me, when I said that Mr. Swamy has this proposal, they said it will be challenged because it's that property is under the supervision of Supreme Court. And
let them challenge.
Yes.
Okay, it is not under the Supreme Court. They have somebody.
It is under
these cabinet ministers, what they were doing all these 4.5 years? They didn't even bother to get a hearing of this done. It was done by me.
Okay, Mr. Swamy, for that I have an argument. You are asking...
Why didn't you have the hearing of this for 7.5 years?
Sir, Dr. Swamy, don't you think these are civilizational issues, which are very serious issues?
No, don't change.
Agree?
First of all, let's stick to the law.
Yeah.
The law is that Narasimha Rao has said that the government will hand over the land,
yes,
to the Hindus if it is found out that there was a pre-existing temple. Right. There's no other ifs and buts.
Okay.
Supreme Court has not said anything.
Yes.
It has recorded it.
Yes.
All right. Now the government is empowered to hand over the land to the Hindus. All right. Number one. Number two, we can inform the Supreme Court that you can continue with your title rights hearings. The moment you decide who the title belongs to, as a government we can always nationalize any land in this country in the public interest. That's the sovereign power of the government. And we'll give them compensation. So whoever wins that title suit will get compensation.
But if you build Ram temple on it in between time, before the suit, then, and if judgment comes against it, then? No,
it won't come against it. There's no judgment pending on government giving land to the Hindus. That is a commitment of the government.
This property is, who is the in charge person of
according
entity?
To the Supreme Court judgment of 1994, it belongs to the government. The government nationalized it. Only thing the Supreme Court said is that till further notice, you will not allow full-fledged prayer. They have also allowed a temple there. There was a temple suddenly built up. You know that. It's a makeshift temple. Why didn't the Supreme Court say remove this? There will be no worship.
That is also an issue of dispute.
There is not a dispute on that.
At the time of Nehru,
who cares?
It happened.
We are not a Nehru party. That's what I wanted to say.
Can you tell me again why it will not be struck down if government takes out the ordinance?
First of all, can the government do it or not? Yes, because the government has made a commitment and informed the Supreme Court. Supreme Court did not say that you first come and take permission from us. They just recorded that. That this is the solution that Narasimha Rao is. Subsequently, it's been found that yes, there was a temple, according to the ASI, which the Allahabad High Court has acted on it also. That's why they have assigned. All right. No court has said this is a disputed thing. Only left-wing historians like Ramila Thapar are disputing it. Nobody else is disputing it. Now, and that is not a legal dispute. That is just one of their hot airs that they are releasing. So, what is the Narendra Modi's government's power today? That he has the power to hand over the land as promised by Mr. Narasimha Rao to the Supreme Court.
But in no time there will be case will be filed about this entire basis of Ram Temple.
On what basis will they?
No, there will be.
No, what will be the prayer? Please tell me.
Prayer will be that we contest that there was a temple here existing.
No, they cannot contest that.
Because it's a case of faith.
No. It is a dispute today not on whether there was a temple or not. The dispute is the title.
Right, I understand.
Title belongs to me or to you. Okay? That is not the dispute.
Okay. Mr. Swamy, we will take one break. Please don't go away. Welcome back. We are talking to Subramanian Swamy. Dr. Swamy, I want to ask you, I want to know you. The way you are associating yourself with the entire issue of Ram Temple. Yes. What is exactly your interest? Are you a good Ram Bhakt? Are you a Ram? No, I am seriously asking. I want to know you. Are you a Ram Bhakt?
I am a Hindu Bhakt.
Hindu Bhakt.
And Ram is one of the idols of Hindus who, in order to stand for some values, he sacrificed his...
Ram is considered one of the many avatars of Vishnu.
Yes.
So what is so particular that you are very fascinated more about?
No, I have no favorites. All are my...
no, but Mr. Swamy, you tell me. You know what you are doing.
I will tell you how I got into this.
Division in the country.
But the divide is 80%, 82%, 18%. It's not a divide of 50-50.
No, all Hindus doesn't want Ram Temple.
All right, how many don't want? How many don't want?
Creating
small
fears in the Muslims.
How many Muslims who want? I would say majority of Muslims want Ram Temple problem.
But we should do it with love, care, with understanding, with harmony.
I have a son-in-law who's a Muslim. I have my wife who's a Parsi. I have a sister-in-law who's a Jew.
No, tell me again.
How can I be against
what is your fascination for this temple issue?
This temple issue, as fascination arose when two people had approached me for a very important issue concerning temples and the Ram. One was Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Tamil Nadu, who founded the Hindu Dharma Acharya Sabha. Ram Setu, the entire RSS, Vishnu Parishad, Sadhus, all went to Supreme Court in a joint petition. It was dismissed. And the date was fixed for blowing it up. And both Sudarshan, the Sarsang Chalak of RSS then, and Singhal, they came to me almost, they were looking very sad. So Ashok Singhal said, I feel so bad that I may even commit suicide if this is broken while I'm alive. So I said, let me think. And I jokingly said, if Ram wants me to save it, he will put it into my head. I forgot about it. 2 days later, I found a new way of going to the Supreme Court. So then this came. I had no interest in the temple. I was not there on Babri Masjid action day when the Babri Masjid was demolished. 2014,
Narendra Modi became Prime Minister. That time many people thought that he is a Hindutva poster boy. So the person who is considered Hindutva poster boy and Amit Shah who is considered hard Hindutva guy, why would they not follow what you are thinking, then there must be some reason and must be some wisdom in it, because they think that let Supreme Court decide what is wrong. These are big issues,
I'm also for,
we can wait.
I'm also for Supreme Court deciding the title issue. But that doesn't bar me from handing over the land to the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, because Narasimha Rao has laid the foundation for that.
But Muslims, even Muslim, secular people of India's heart is broken. The way that Talibanized act was done, Babri was demolished, which you don't support, right?
Which one?
The demolition of Babri Masjid forcibly.
It was unauthorized. But it was not
unauthorized, right?
It was unauthorized, but it was not a masjid. It was at that time a temple. Worship was going on there. There were idols inside. How can you call that a masjid? Masjid can be demolished. It's being demolished every day in Saudi Arabia.
No, so my question is, there must be some wisdom on part of government. Narendra Modi knows what are the issues.
They haven't told me.
So what could be the reason?
In terms of IQ, I'm not anything less than them. There was this in Rajkot.
Mr. Bhagwat and
Bhagwat, I was there.
And Amit Shah was there.
I made this statement. The sadhus asked, when Amit Shah started speaking, they asked him, what have you to say about this new solution that Dr. Swamy said? He says, this is the first time I'm hearing. Let me study it and report back.
But some people also smack of some kind of Noora Kisti, that you are doing it on the behest of BJP only. Why? I tell you, they think that on one side you are keeping pressure so that the kind of a polarization take place in the Uttar Pradesh society which can get them votes.
I have no position in BJP. BJP people.
But you are a friend of Narendra Modi.
That is at a personal level. I've known him since 1972.
So,
but there's no policy issue has ever consulted me.
But just before 6 months before election, if you do it, it is
No, I've been doing it from 1960.
But your deadline today, everybody knows it's election time.
So what? Ram has no election time. I have a mission. Ram temple must be built, even if there is Kaya Kalp tomorrow. Okay? And I found a way. I want Narendra Modi to follow that way. Okay. In your mission, the fallout will be, there will be a permanent division amongst Hindus and Muslim society in India. I don't agree. Why? How? Because I know Muslims very well. I have very great friends in them. So what do you tell them? I don't tell them anything. They come and tell me, you fought for us in Hashimpura when everybody had abandoned us. You got us justice. You and your family, you got a Muslim. We don't agree with this propaganda that you are anti-Muslim. It's only, I said, these are all these anglicized people called the Lutyens crowd who are doing this. But Muslims don't feel like that. No, they do because of Mathura and Kashi. They think if we follow Swamy... 40,000 temples were demolished during Islamic period. Alright? I am saying just leave 3. Because North-South is... I'm telling you 3. Not more than 3. And this is after discussion with RSS and Vishwa Hindu Parishad. North-South is Rama, East-West is Krishna, and the original primordial Shakti is Shiva. So these 3 temples were deliberately broken. In the case of Kashi Vishwanath, there is a farman of Aurangzeb. In the case of Krishna Janma Bhumi, you can see it openly how it is. So therefore, these 3 you leave. Masjid is not an essential part of Islam. You can build it anywhere. Namaz can be read anywhere. You can read in your drawing room. You can read on the road. So build anywhere else you want, but not where they were born. You think as if Modi and Amit Shah are less of a Ram Bhakt? Well, then they should explain to me what I'm doing is wrong. They have not explained to me. And I can explain to them why they are wrong. Why? It's a holy promise of all the Hindu-minded people of the BJP. Thank you very much, Mr. Swamy. Thank you so much.